He's the GOAT.
The Colonel. He's amazing.
He's awesome in this movie.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Marvel Movie Mondays with the Calvin Camp Podcast. We're back at it again, and we have the next Marvel movie in line. We're doing Captain America: The First Avenger, and this movie is just top tier for me, honestly. So I'm really excited to be doing this episode. Anthony has seen this episode or this movie before.
Yeah, this was actually the first MCU movie I've actually saw, and I like this movie a lot, and we'll get into that.
Yeah. So before we get into it, I just want to remind everybody, please support the channel by hitting that like and subscribe button down below. And if you want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, that would be awesome, or X as we call it now. There's also patreon.com/thecalvincam. It really helps us out if you join one of our 3 tiers that we have over there. Makes the show get bigger and better. So that being said, let's get into Captain America. Captain America: The First Avenger. It is the 4th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it is just it's just so special because Captain America as a character, he's the embodiment of America. He's Captain America. This movie was directed by Joe Johnston, and Joe Johnston is a fantastic director. For those of you who do not know his work, he directed movies like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or Jumanji. He directed some episodes of The Young Adventures of Indiana Jones, also The Wolfman and Jurassic Park 3. He's done quite a bit of work.
So he has done some work. I know nothing about him.
Yeah, so he's definitely a good choice, and I think that this might be possibly his best work, honestly, in my opinion. I mean, I love Jumanji all time, and I love Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and stuff, but like I think that this is
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is a classic.
Well, it's awesome. Rick Moranis, I love him. But yeah, Captain America is just like, it's such a staple movie in the Marvel universe, and I think that it's very underrated, this movie.
I think anyone that's getting into the MCU or has no further history of like the knowledge of the MCU and Captain America's like origin story, I think this is a good like origin story, and it's told well.
Okay, so let's give you guys a quick summary. Chris Evans is the main actor in this. He plays Steve Rogers, a rejected military soldier, transforming into Captain America after taking a dose of super soldier serum. But being Captain America comes at a price as he attempts to take down a warmonger and a terrorist organization, Hydra, which is kind of like a side Nazi division, pretty much.
It's like a science division.
Yeah.
El Hydra.
El Hydra. I love that it's like double fist. Like, it's so funny.
It's funny that way, that also playing Marvel Midnight Suns, most of the game is based off Hydra, so it's kind of cool. And the soldiers look the same.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it keeps the same kind of aesthetic.
Yeah.
I think that, that being said, talking about Hydra, Hugo Weaving, he is awesome as Schmidt, who is Red Skull.
Johann Schmidt,
and he is just. I mean, Hugo Weaving as an actor, he plays such a menacing role in most movies that when he's a bad guy. Like, I love him. He brings a presence that's just like shattering. So
I mean, everyone knows Hugo from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
he's actually not a bad guy.
Well, he's not a bad guy,
but he is Agent Smith in The Matrix, and he is the bad guy in that movie.
Yes, and I think that he just plays this character so well. As well as we have Sebastian Stan's first appearance in the MCU as Bucky Barnes, who is Steve Rogers' best friend growing up. And I think that he's pretty awesome, as well as we have Tommy Lee Jones as
he's the GOAT.
The Colonel. He's amazing.
He's awesome in this movie.
And he brings a great element of comedy to it too, and I love it because.
And then we have Toby Jones, which is Arnim Zola.
Yeah, yes, and they kind of you'll see what they do with his character as time goes by. But yes, he is a fantastic actor, and he's in so much stuff, so many projects. Every time that I see him, I'm just like, what are you up to, man?
Yeah. I thought that Dominic Cooper that played Howard Stark, Tony Stark's dad, he did a
Yes.
good job. We see Nick Fury, obviously Samuel L. Jackson at the very end of the movie, but just a stacked cast. Even Haley Atwell that played
Dude,
Captain
Peggy,
Carter.
yeah,
Like-
she's awesome. She's beautiful. Oh my god. Mwah.
Yeah, and not to mention, she had really good chemistry with Chris Evans in this movie.
She did.
So,
I think that the acting performance that Chris brought to Steve Rogers is just really one of a kind. Like, and we had like a lot of good actors trying out for this role. I believe John Krasinski even tried out for this role back then. And but I'm super happy that Chris Evans got to be the face of Captain America because we've now had him for so long as Captain America, and it's just rewatching this film, you see how much heart and character that he brings to Steve, and it's really, really compelling. It brings a beautiful story because he's just this kid who grew up in Brooklyn who lost both of his parents, and he kind of just like hangs out with Bucky in foster care, and it just seems like they were with each other trying to survive through life, and he's just this scrawny little dude. So
yeah, and you see in this film that he's a scrawny little dude, and he's trying to try out for the army. Like he wants to do what he can for his country, and they see that he really doesn't have what it takes because he's so scrawny and not built.
Yeah.
He's not built as a soldier, I should say.
He has a lot of medical issues. You find out like he has asthma and stuff, like just things that will not let him into the war. So it's basically just his journey and finding his place in there. And luckily, by chance, he happens to run across Dr. Abraham Erskine, played by Stanley Tucci. And I think that obviously Stanley is an incredible actor. And I think that he played such a significant role in Steve's life because Steve doesn't have very many people to like fall back on. Honestly, he just has Bucky really, but besides Bucky, he has nobody. And so Dr. Abraham, like he brought another character to Steve's life to just kind of like remind him that there's good in the world. And obviously Abraham reminded Steve that he is like good, and that he has the heart to be whatever he wants to be, basically.
And that's why they choose him as, for the super soldier experiment, because he has the heart.
Yeah. I mean, and he knew it from immediately in the moment he got it. And it's great to see the little introduction into boot camp with Steve as he kind of shows that he makes up for strength in brains, like,
Brains and bravery.
Like when Tommy Lee Jones throws the grenade, he like dives on the grenade and it's like, get back, everybody, get back. And like immediately, like Tommy Lee Jones is like, damn it. Like, all right, you're right. He is the guy. He's still skinny though. And I think it's funny. Also like when they're running and they're like, whoever can get the flag can, ride back to the camp with Peggy. And they all try and they all fail. And he just comes up to the pole, just unscrews it, it falls down.
he uses his keen sense of.
He's just like, I got it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
So, and it's great. And you see the amazing transformation, obviously, as it happens when Steve turns into Captain America. He's huge. And this is where you actually get to see Chris Evans' real body. Because in the production of this film, like that was all artificial production. Like they used a skinny, small actor, and they cropped Chris's face over him during it.
I kind of figured they did some sort of special effect on it, and actually they
It's
portrayed it
beautiful.
really well.
Like it's really good.
Yeah.
You can't even like tell really that it's special effects. So
No.
which is really awesome. But yeah, then you just get him and he comes out of the tank and he's just yoked, like he's huge.
He's huge, and then we have obviously a Nazi spy that breaks into the laboratory,
Yeah.
kills Abraham Erskine, and then you see that emotion on,
Steve's
face. He's
Yeah.
like, he's really sad, but at the same time, he goes, "I have to do something about this." And then you see basically Steve Rogers on display. Like you can
Yeah.
see that he's a super soldier. He's jumping over cars. He's jumping over fences.
Yeah.
I mean, he's smashed. I mean, he goes in there. He tries to get away in a submarine. He
Swims after it
swims
fast,
after,
like-
grabs the top of it, and then punches the glass and grabs the guy out of it. So
No, it's really, you get the slight demonstration that he is like definitely super. So, and then, you know, obviously it leads into the remaining of the movie where the government puts him on basically like the face of the war.
yeah, he becomes like the propaganda
Yeah.
face, kind of like Uncle Sam, but like,
Yeah.
but he's
Captain America.
yeah. So you have those great scenes, and the cinematography in this movie is excellent with all those shots, but yeah, you have that, and then you have the scene where it's kind of like it's a pivotal moment for him. Like he basically comes to the battalion, or he comes to wherever he goes, and he starts to talk to the soldiers, and the soldiers don't respect him because
They think he's a pretty boy.
they think he's a pretty boy. He's never been in combat. So, you know, he goes, how can I lead these guys if I haven't shown them that I can fight?
Exactly.
So that's why he tells Peggy, he goes, I thought you told me I was made something else for this. Like,
Yeah.
and then he disobeys orders, kind of like in how Tony disobeys orders in the first Iron Man movie, and he goes to find Bucky because the colonel doesn't care. He's like, well, that's my friend, and
Yeah, he's
blah
like,
blah
I
blah.
don't care.
He's like, I'm gonna go find Bucky and all the other soldiers, and that's when he does a covert op. He breaks into the Hydra base and he breaks everybody out.
Yeah, and it's badass.
Yeah.
This movie has a pretty good, decent amount of action for the beginning Marvel films because not really the beginning of Marvel films have that much action in it, and I feel like this actually had some good action sequences as well as like it kept the action going with the pacing of the whole movie. I thought this movie was beautifully paced. Like I was never ever out of this.
I was
movie.
about to say,
So-
I don't think this movie to me had any pacing issues.
No, it's pretty much like straightforward. This to this to this. Even the part after it's Captain America and the Captain America and the boys like doing their thing, liberating, you know, the frontier, and you get these shots that are back and forth between like Hydra falling and them prevailing, and like it's just done in such a sequence that's like so easy to follow, and you just know what's happening. So
Yeah, it leads up to the final confrontation, finding Johann Schmidt,
yeah,
which is Red Skull, in his base, and that's when you have the final confrontation with Steve Rogers and
yeah,
the Red Skull.
yeah. And again, the last battle I think is really awesome. I think it's cool. It ends really well, and you know, we get Captain America frozen in time as he is in the comics. Basically, he gets frozen as the blimp goes down. He has his last conversation with Peggy. And he's like,
Because he wants to have a date with her.
yeah, he
like-
wants to have a date with her.
and it's kind of leaded up to, like, you know, Peggy likes him, but then she sees how brave he is, and he's an asset to the war effort, and just overall, his just bravery and his leadership.
It's
she
crossing,
falls in love with him that
yeah,
way.
it's crossing the line between like professionalism and then like just like actual social life. So, especially in their position because she's like a captain. So, and I mean he is too, but well, captain by name, I should say. But I think that it ends beautifully, and the after credit scene is really good too. This was the movie that connects all of the movies together. So.
Yeah, you see that in the end. He wakes up and he's in this solitary time confinement to listening to a ball game, and he's like, "Wait, I heard this game.
Yeah,
this is not right. Where the hell am I?" And then he breaks out and realizes that
he's in modern New York.
He's in modern New York, and Nick Fury comes out and he goes, "Are you all right?" He goes, "Oh no, I was just late for a date." The movie ends, and then, like you said, this movie is connected, and we get the next movie. Obviously, is probably gonna be the Avengers, right?
It is. It's the Avengers. Yeah, this movie's just fantastic. So I really, really love this movie, and I would I love all the connecting stuff in this movie. This movie like really actually reaches out and connects a lot of things together. Um Starting off at the beginning, like we have the tree of life, the Norse tree is and we have the Infinity Stone, the Cosmic Cube is in this, the Tesseract, everything that goes forward into the MCU. It kind of like stems with that cube. I remember it being such the biggest deal, especially when they released the Marvel Phase 1 box set. It was a shield case that had all the DVDs in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it had the Cosmic Cube in the middle.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really cool. And it glowed too, so like that's a cool collector's item, and I would like to own that one day, but
Anyways, what would you rate this movie?
oh yeah, getting to the review. This is a lovely film, and this is a lovely, lovely film. I personally am going to give this a 5 out of 5 because I absolutely love Captain America. I love him as a character. I've always loved him as a character, and I really think this movie did a really great job and is very underrated. So, yeah, 5 out of 5.
For me, I would also give this movie a 5 out of 5. I thought this movie was just as good as an origin story as Iron Man was.
Mm-hmm.
The pacing, like you said, the pacing's solid in this movie. Just like it's just well paced. Like
Yeah.
every sequence is just you're engaged with the story. So I thought that was good in this movie. The whole look of the 40s. Like the look and the cinematography for this movie was also good. The origin story of Steve Rogers and Captain America. I think if you're getting into the MCU and the Marvel universe, I think this is a good entry. If you're not reading any of the comics,
It is a good starting point, and canonically, it's the first movie.
So yeah, there's that, and the music for the period. The music was good. So yeah, overall, it's a solid movie, and it's a 5. It's a definite 5.
Glad we're on the same page. All right. Well, that's our review for Captain America: The First Avenger. We love this movie. So it was great to be able to watch this and review
if you haven't seen this movie, go ahead and watch it because it's worth your time.
It's really good. It's really good. You don't have to be so critical sometimes.
I mean, yeah, there is some bad MCU movies, but there's a lot of good ones.
It's a lot of good ones. All right, hit me with some Marvel trivia.
All right, I'm going to nail Calvin again with some Marvel trivia. Okay, we'll start him off with what here? We'll look down the list. Since we're talking about Captain America, the First Avenger, we will give him a Captain America question. When we first meet the pre-transformation of Steve Rogers, which city resident was he posing as?
Which city resident?
Yeah. Which city resident was he posing as?
Like Boston? Brooklyn?
It's Paramus.
Oh, Paramus. Okay.
Yeah, I remember he was changing all his identities because
I just forgot which one
he was trying to get in the army. He was like had different identities so that would take him.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like which actual one he was from.
No.
Okay. My bad.
No worries. Okay, question number 2. In the events which the film are referenced to when Red Skull discovers the Tesseract in the church, what is it referred to? What film?
Thor.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, shit. I am bad.
Yeah.
I am misunderstanding these questions right now.
I'm not trying to trick you.
No. You're fine. Absolutely, though. I see the reference.
Yeah. I got him once.
I'll
get him again.
I was just thinking of the tree because it shows the world tree and it shows. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I get.
Do you get the reference?
I get the reference. Yeah.
In the film Thor: The Dark World is centered around which of the Infinity Stones?
The Reality Stone.
Correct. You are correct. You got that one right.
Yeah.
Recovery. Okay, he's gonna get this one. Which of these characters has Thor had a verbal interaction with on screen? Which of those characters he's never had a verbal interaction with on screen?
Is there a list of the characters?
There's
or?
just one character. Which of these characters has Thor never had a verbal interaction with on screen?
It doesn't give you multiple choice for that question?
Nope.
What? How am I supposed to know? He hasn't talked to a bunch of people. He hasn't talked to... I haven't seen him talk to a lot of people. He hasn't talked to T'Challa. He hasn't talked to Shuri. He hasn't talked to Wong. He hasn't talked to...
I'll give you a hint. I'm going to give it away anyways. When I give him this hint, it's your favorite character in the MCU.
Spider-Man?
Yep. I gave it away. I gave it away, guys.
That's a dumb question. He hasn't talked to a lot of people.
That's the question I had here. I thought for sure you were going to know it.
No, like he hasn't talked to a ton of people. I'm surprised it's not multiple
actually,
choice.
If you think of it, it is kind of a vague question. It's not multiple choice. Okay, you want to do two more or one more?
We'll do one more.
Okay, we'll do one more. Let me find one here. About how old is Thor?
He's hundreds of years old. So
he's hundreds of years old, but do you have an exact number of how?
I'm gonna say like 380.
Higher.
560.
Higher.
900.
Higher.
Thousands? 3,000?
Lower.
2,000. All right, you got to tell me. I'm out.
1,500.
1,500.
Yeah.
Do they say that in Thor?
I don't know where they say it.
Huh.
Apparently, it's a question in the trivia.
It's fucking trivia.
Anyways, that's going to do it for this editions of Marvel Mondays trivia for Captain America, the First Avenger. And yeah.
All right. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you on the next Marvel Monday. Also, yeah, we'll just catch you later in general.
Yeah. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care, everyone.
Thank you all so much for tuning into the Calvin Cam podcast. We appreciate you all so very, very much. And, you know, if you like us, hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really helps us out. As well as you can go over to our social media platforms like Instagram or X and follow us over there. We like to communicate and build our community up. As well as you could also go to patreon.com/thecalvincam and join one of our 3 tiers that we offer. We offer a couple of different benefits per tier, and good stuff, and it would really, really help us, and we'd really appreciate it, of course. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you later.